It's not as if I don't want to coach. It's also the fact that also the offers that I've had. In fact, was it 3 weeks ago? We got an offer from a country close to South Africa, who an agent contacted me and said the federation wanted to speak and everything. And I'm having serious difficulties, managing that some coaching opportunities have come with the life I am living and the joy to bring my family. And, I spent almost 20 years always going away because of football. I spent time. But I must say that coming to the end of my career, there was something that I really wanted to do, and that was I wanted to live life on my terms. I read it somewhere that it's the greatest pleasure you can have. You do what you want to do, but not what you must do. So that's and I'm currently living that now, and I touch wood because I don't want it to change. Well, let's just say that it's the offers that I would like to have. They're offers who might not be very happy with my kind. I won't go too deep, but it's no secret that we don't have any African coaching anywhere in the world at the top. So it's kind of like, so if you know a good coach, a good club that wants to employ an African, let me know.
It's interesting. What do you think? What do you think of that?
I like it. I'm happy. I think we have to be busy. We're all different. We're all different. Like I have an European nationality. My wife is Moroccan, but she was born in Belgium. My kids are there. My life is over there. And I'm used to my bed. So and I can see also that they also have that here. So we are all different. We've had different. But what gladdens my heart is that at least okay, the national team job is something most of people want to have, but there can only be one. So that means by the time there's one there, if the others are not busy, they might end up just trying to make the other one fall so that they can get there. But if one is there and the others are busy also, then maybe they can really be that, complementary of maybe once in a while you tease each other. And I'm happy for them because I don't know if I should say this on your show, but I will say it, is that people seem to forget that the most difficult thing to go through and when you're in the football business is after football. People always make comments like, after all, he made enough money while he was playing, so they should live well, that kind of a thing. No. First of all, we are not entitled to pensions all around the world. So if you stop playing 20 years ago, we're talking of 20 years, we're talking of almost 240 months. So that means you need to have earned so much to be able to carry yourself month by month. It's 240 months. You've been jobless for 20 months. My brother, unless you are a Messi or something, you will struggle. So if you retire, you need a job. So to see them working and at least something coming in every month is great. Well, statistics have shown that ex-professional soccer players, 5 years, 40%, 5 years after they retire, go bankrupt. And I think the statistics is about 73% after 10 years, something. That's huge. It's because of the fact that our job, why we have to struggle, is the fact that our job, for you to really hit the top and play it, especially from our generation wise, to play it at the top at a high level, you must have started at a very young age. So that means that it's the only job you know. But it's a job that when you get to 32, 33, 34, you can't do it anymore. So you become unemployed at 34. If God blesses you, you live to 70, you still have 35, 36 years to live. Now it's almost a miracle for you to have amassed enough resources to carry yourself for 36 years. So you need to be fortunate to have a job or create a means of life, resource, coming in, revenue coming in that will last you then. And it's not easy to have. Whereas when I look at my son now, he's 27. This is now he just got his first major big job at a bank in Brussels, and but that was the time I was already thinking of retirement. And the man now is now full-fledged and said, look, I'm through with reading. Whereas me, then I was already thinking, man, how will I feed this man after my career? So those are the realities we have to live with. Yes and no. Let's just say, it would have been great for Denzel to play football. But I also know that, especially when you're an African, the sacrifices you have to go through to really get to the top like we did. Sometimes, it's been statistically stated to be like, I think it's 3 to 1 million. 3 players make it out of 1 million aspirants to get to that top level. So I think for me, it was, funny enough, the day he came home, because he was already in a second division team in Belgium. With the second team he was playing, and then he came home one day and he said, "Pa, can I have a word with you here?" I think he said, "I've decided to stop football. I want to continue with my studies and really attack the BSc." He was expecting me to give a comment like that. So he was surprised when I said, "Great, okay, what school is that?" Then we sat down in the kitchen, and the mother was looking like, because she was also expecting me to, so we spent like an hour looking at the schools, is this the right course and everything. So he felt free, so he just attacked it. So, and no, I'm really proud of, look, it was my dream to throw that cap, at graduation, all through when I was coming up as a kid in Lagos. So at least my son got to live that. I got to watch my son do that thing, so it was great. To start with, Cerezo, that's what I call him, because Austin Eguavon is, he's a smart guy. Cerezo is not stupid. He knows what he's doing. And at the same time also, he has my full support. One, because he's somebody I respect a lot. He's somebody I struggled. I spent years working hard to bring glory to our fatherland together. And he's somebody that I think in a lot of ways is a honest guy, a decent guy. So for that reason, and furthermore, he's my compatriot. So he has my full support. The tasks ahead is a difficult one, but it's not an impossible one. It's something that can still happen. We can still qualify for the next World Cup. Of course, we need to get some perfect results. Of course, we need that, because we are 4 points behind first. And it's not as if it's only one person that has 4 points behind. There are like 2 or 3 people that have the aspirations. Now, who makes it more difficult when you play each of them, because everybody has a hope of qualifying. But that notwithstanding, it's not doable if you are Nigeria. We had to do that in 2002 to go to the 2002 World Cup when I was captain. We were 5 points behind, and we had to really work hard with almost the same amount of games. And we came up and qualified almost 1 game to the end. So the point there is that I'm trying to make out here is that it is possible to do. But what I implore my fellow countrymen to look at is this, is that the situation we find ourselves, Eguavon is not responsible at all. He is trying to salvage what has been there before he came. If you are a Nigerian, the best you can do for your fatherland is to support your countryman who is in charge. You don't like him, he is not representing his own family, he's representing you at home. So give him the moral support. It works, okay. It doesn't work, we hope he has learned something, because knowing Cerezo, he's not going to go away. He's still going to be around. So. Colonialism ended, to the best of my knowledge, in 1957. That was when it ended, and we got independence in 1960. So 3 years before, we had a period where we had like a transitional, and then we took over in 1960. So that means we are independent. We are a people. So why should you employ our kind, pay them 20%, of what you pay a foreigner when you employ them to do the same job. But you expect them to have the same results, even maybe more better results than the other, with even less better working conditions than the other foreigner. In other words, we are still being colonized. That's why I went back to colonialism. And how does that help us? We have one life to live. Who knows? We might live 10 years, 25, we might go next year, you don't know. So by the time we are here, why don't we leave it to the best of our own? If our kind cannot qualify us, let's not go to the World Cup. It's a simple thing. So where are we going to stop? If the home-based coaches are not doing well, are we going to now, next step, get foreign-based administrators? Oh, if that doesn't work out, are we going to get foreign? No, when I say foreign-based administrators, I mean foreign administrators. Are we going to get foreign players? Foreign physiotherapists? Come on, where does it end? So I will just say it like this. You and I know that the reason of employing a foreign coach is nothing to do with competence. The reason behind it is something else. But it's not my place to start going into details. So as long as, and the people know it. So let's leave it like it is. But I personally feel that at the end of the day, I still repeat what I said the other day. If you take a job away from a Nigerian, stop a Nigerian from doing a job that is supposed to be in his own country, and you prefer to give it to a foreigner to do, it is like as if you're trying to say, my child is not good enough. A foreigner's child is better than mine. I wish you good luck when you face your creator. That's how I say it. Look, FIFA organized, in my opinion, the best World Cup ever in the history of this world. I was there for 6 weeks in Qatar. They can tell you whatever they want. That World Cup was so well organized. We're in a stadium that was air-conditioned. You go outside of the stadium, you had 40 degrees. You come inside, 25 degrees. So that means behind this wall is 40 degrees. Inside here is 25 degrees. They organized it, and they decided that, look, we're going to build up a new system of computer was made into it. Every part from the players' movements, there was a chip in the ball. You see those balls they played in the World Cup, they cost 500 euros for one. That's what they played that last World Cup with. There was a chip in it that told us the spin and everything in it. And then they decided, okay, so much data is going to come into a big box. And the box is in Zurich and it's also in Qatar. But to analyze it, we need one of the biggest brains in football to head it. It was a technical person who had been in football for years, Arsene Wenger. But we also needed 6 experts from the whole world that will not just sit there and tell us things, but will break down those details in real time. That means when the game is on, to break it down. And I was blessed to be one of those 6. And in those 6 weeks where we did the World Cup, I can tell you, my brother, if you were not so well structured and very, very versed in techniques, every time we had a meeting, you will be worse than a spectator. Because Arsene Wenger will not start spending time to tell you, when I give a word about this, this is what it means. No, no, no. He would just put it there. It was up to us to respond, and during the game you could say, okay, Messi is doing well because of this, Ronaldo is doing well because of this. So you have to do it in real time, and it was going around the world. So the point I'm trying to make out now is that football has gone so far. You know, it has gone so far for you to have somebody in your technical department that has nothing to do with, that is not a specialist of football. Nothing will happen by luck anymore. And that is why, if you don't face the reality, you will do what you want. You will always lose. I don't know if it's making sense to you. So that is the level it has gotten to. You know, and if you are a technical-minded person or you're a technician in the sport, when you sit down with people who are not technical, you will be so bored. You'll be irritated, and you won't be able to work. Because when I'm talking now, you see now goals are being calculated by VAR. It's now just a question of a toe. I know the toe is too long. The toe is long for that reason. So now the question now is that how do I now work on my team to make sure that every goal we score is legal? You can't be helped by anything anymore now. So you must win fair and clean and fair. I disagree because Nigeria is capable. I disagree because Nigeria has the capacity to rule Africa again in a question of 4 or 5 years. Nigeria is capable to win even a major world title next 4 or 5 years. But the problem is, when you have to do it, a lot of people who are not competent have to leave the scene. Are we ready for that? So the question is that we are satisfying just a little bunch who are not competent, and 220 million people are suffering for it. It's up to the country to decide. I have already done something that is even huge, that nobody told you about. And I feel painful about it.
Yeah, what's that?
You know what it says? I sat down for 2 months. And I amassed all my knowledge. I took all the Nigerian situations, scenarios. 2 months. And I made out a plan, a master plan. And in that plan, I split Nigeria into regions. I looked at the economic situation of those regions. And I put also the formats that would suit them to help youth development, female football development, and how to groom, listen, and also how to help local businesses that will be linked to those regions. And I also, it was a master plan. And I took it, not €1, gave it to our country. Did you ever hear about it?
This is the first time I heard of that.
I gave it to them. Now, what happened was that some of it was taken in bits. One of it was taken in bits, and immediately you guys started having playoffs for your champion. True or false? Just some 3 years ago. You had to play playoff to have the champion of Nigeria, right? Of the league. You know where that came from? That came from that plan. But they never told you it came from Sunday Oliseh. I didn't ask you €1 for it. The least you can do is say, okay, this is something we got from Sunday Oliseh. But the thing there is that for that plan to work and be a multiplier effect on the whole country, there was a very, very important key element that had to be used. And that element is not being used. In fact, it's the one that's been thrown apart. And that's why it's not getting the effect now. You know? So the thing there is, the idea is, well, I'm not, look, I came out of this system in this country because of the fact that what existed, it helped me to get there. I played in Julius Berger. If there was no Julius Berger, I don't know if I would have been able, or Doba Hotel, or I don't think I would have been able to have the competition I needed on a daily and weekly basis, you know, to be able to nurture my skills and technique to be able to go abroad. Because if I were playing with lesser players that were not good in the league, I would not have been good enough to go. So what I can do in return to the local league, that's why I always aspire for the local league, because they need our help. And the only solution out of Nigeria's problems is to improve the local league.
Interesting.
The Super Eagles we have now is not the best we have. It's not the best we can produce. That's the thing. It's not the best we can produce. We can do much, much, much better. A lot of the players in the team are very good. A lot of the players in the team deserve to be there. But a lot of the players in the team should not even be anything near the Super Eagles. That is just the plain fact. And as long as we don't get that in order, it won't work out. You see, for your national team to be world beaters, you need a lot of match winners. So that means in the team, you have players that can, you know, people talk about the '94 generation. Extraordinary. Why won't we ever have that? That team had match winners in every section. You had players that if it's not going well, they could score as strikers out of nothing. They could create goals or win opportunities out of an individual something that could happen. You have players that if it's not going well from the midfield, could give you a shot from 30 meters. The net will hold it, and it opens up the game. You have players that if it's not going well, will make sure Nigeria did not concede, because as defenders, you will never pass them. I give you names like Taribo, Uche, and all those ones. Steph, Keshi. You have those players. Guavo himself. So those are players that, that's solid. So they were match winners. So you had everybody that could win games for you. You also have to realize that match winners, or how you see a match winner, depends on the person you're asking. Like, you can call some list of people you think are match winners now, and I am thinking they are liabilities to the team. That's something that could be too. Because the reality of the fact that, I would tell you something. If you are a great top player, okay, I'll say it like this. If you are a top player, you'll be playing in a top club or in a top league. Why? Because the tempo and the demands of playing in the top league is what makes you a top player. If you're not playing in a top league, or you cannot compete in a top league, that means that you cannot meet with the top players when they're playing. When Super Eagles dominated, you had players from Super Eagles, Ajax, Inter Milan, Juventus, AC Milan, Arsenal. Okay. You look at all this, we have players in those top clubs. These were players who were playing week in, week out in Champions League. The top of the top. Now, when they come to play for Nigeria and they have to play a World Cup qualifier against African nations, we dominate because we are playing at the top. Now, I'll give you a homework because I won't be the one that's talking. When you go home, sit down, look at the Super Eagles. How many of them are playing in the Champions League? How many of them have ever played in the Champions League? Look, the first thing I did when I came as coach was that I made it clear. If you don't play the first division in Europe, you're not playing Super Eagles. That was why. Some said, oh, I can. He said, that was why. That was that reason, because I know from my own technical knowledge and from my own experience that if you play in a top club, like when we played at Ajax, and we had to play a team that was not top like us, we played 60 minutes high tempo. They can't stand it. The best they will do is they will last 55 minutes without conceding, because we are playing high tempo. The moment we score you one, you must try small. We'll score two. But if you make the mistake, we play you high tempo, you want to play high tempo, you will collect 5 or 6. Why? Because you can't stand it. That's the secret of the top teams, when they play the small teams. Now, if you have to play Nigeria, you know God. I'm coming against Taribo West. I'm coming against Finidi George. I'm coming against TJ Babangida. I'm coming against my mother's self, Sunday Oliseh. I'm coming against JJ Okocha. I'm coming against Chukwuchukwu. I'm coming against, as a coach, I'm already thinking, how do I handle them? That means before the game, as a coach, I'm already going defensive. I've started to lose before the game starts. What I subscribe to is that if you're going to play for the Super Eagles, you have to be the best. Ademola Lookman is a great player. Great player. He's a great player. So, first thing I would like to talk about Lookman is that why I find Lookman to be a great player is because I'm looking at the qualities, the characteristics that are needed to play the position Lookman plays and how he executes them. He doesn't execute them at 5 out of 10. He doesn't execute them at 6 out of 10. He executes most of them at 7.5, 8 out of 10. So that's why I say he's a great player, because the man has got pace. He's got tenacity. He's unpredictable. He knows how to give width when his team is in possession. He's always looking for penetration to go forward like that. His ball mastery is cool. He is nimble-footed. He sells dummies and is finishing. And too late, I'm calling him great because he played at the European Cup finals. He did not only just play, he was decisive in winning European Cup final. That is not what a good player does. That's what a great player does. So that is why I said he's a great player. Now, you're an arrogant person if you are at this level and you behave at this level, right? Now, the thing there is, I've been speaking with you about techniques now. Do I look dumb to you on techniques? Not. So that means that when I'm talking now as an authority as regards techniques, and you call me arrogant, it's because you are stupid. Or it's because you are not intelligent enough. Or it's because you don't have the level, and you feel that I'm bringing this level. I'm not saying stupid out of as bringing you down, but it's because, you know, I can be stupid also if I make, but it's because you don't look at it from the point of view of he deserves it. Now, if you think I'm also arrogant, it's because I believe myself I should be somewhere, and you don't think I should be there. You know, and that's the thing. That is one. Now, secondly, you say you're thought out right. You cannot like me for being right and telling you what I think it is, because you are not a honest person. I love it when someone is honest with me. They tell me, look, Sonny, you are shit. I like it. And I loved the best coaches I worked with was the coaches that would tell me, Sonny, hey, you played shit yesterday. Not the coaches that say, Sonny, you play well. When even me, I know, say, today, man, I didn't play 100%. You know, and if you say you don't like Sunday because of this, that, okay, then you ask yourself, this is a man who came, I'm not going to put myself as a third person. This is a man who came to play for Nigeria, and in the 10 years he played for Nigeria, those were the 10 most glorious years of Nigeria. And the moment he left, it became the nightmares of Nigeria. Now the thing there is that if you don't want to give me my own dues while I'm still alive, you won't give it to me when I'm dead. So I know, I am conscious of the sacrifices I made to serve this country. Now, if we're going to talk about ourselves, it's not a question of being, I know my limits also. I wouldn't tell you I'm the best in the world at my position, no. But Europeans who have nothing to help me with, the world who have nothing to help me with, named me at one point in my career as one of the best, if not the best player in my position in the whole world. Now, if you, my fellow countrymen, see me as arrogant, it's because you don't think I am worth that. But I know I am worth it because it was not given to me. I worked hard for it. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I have the same wife for 30 years. Whoa. It's unusual. So something is wrong with me or something is good with me. I don't know if you get the message I'm trying to share. So the question is that if you are not conscious of what you are, look, I have 4 brothers, 1 sister. I have my 2 parents, and we are a godly family. If you are a godly family, you cannot be arrogant. Because you know that everything you achieve is because God let you achieve it, and because God gave it to you. But if you assert yourself, and they call you arrogant for it, it's hurtful when you hear it from your own kind, that you served, that you gave titles to, that you played for even when coming out of a sick bed, that you served as a coach, that you were unpaid as a coach. You know, one guy ran to me at the airport once in Frankfurt, because I always fly to Frankfurt, and he said to me, he said, Coach, I owe you an apology. He was with his white wife. He was white. The woman was like speaking our language. That was what shocked me. That's why I will never forget the guy. Because the woman was speaking Nigerian broken. So that means he said, I owe you an apology on behalf of my family. He said, why? He said, why? Because the thing there is that we've been very ungrateful. I was trying to run away from the thing, but when he started to say that, I had to stop. But I still had time for my flight. So and he was trying to emancipate to me that, he did not know that World Tour, when I coached the Super Eagles, I was unpaid. So when I resigned, he was also one of those who was saying, how dare he resign? But it was when some years after, and I came out, I said, look, I resigned, I was not paid for 4 months. I was unpaid. And then he was like, how the hell did you even continue working after they didn't pay you for 1 month? And I told myself, well, I was trying to help my country, and you are not being faulted for not being paid for 4 months. Now, we've had foreign coaches who have left us here, and they've coached us for years, and they earn 70, 50, I don't know, $1,000 a month. And they didn't take Nigeria to court because they were unpaid. So that means that for those years they coached Nigeria, they were being paid 50,000. Right. So they got their money. Now I am the son of the soil. And I've served you. I've given you titles. I've qualified you to 3 World Cups. I've played 2 World Cups for you, helped you bring you back the Olympic gold medal. Nations Cup, that we've given you almost the best. I've given you my life, to it. And then you come out, instead of being grateful, you now want to say I'm arrogant. That's why I'm very grateful to the most Nigerians I meet. Majority of Nigerians I meet, I've not had one who has come to me and said, you be a bad, no. They've always, said thank you for service, thank you for the service. So the few ones who talk about arrogance are the ones who feel they can't control you. Why would you try to control me? Am I a dog? I'm trying to control you. So it's like that.